This is a story about two pirate women from back in the 1700s. What's our year this year? What year are we in? 2013. So this was not the 2000s. This was not the 1900s. This was not the 1800s. This was the 1700s. Before they even had the United States, there were just some colonies. And in the colony of North Carolina, there was a young woman living on a farm with her family. Her name was Bonny. And Bonny's father wanted her to marry a farmer. But Bonny did not want to marry a farmer, did she? No. So she ran away and she married the captain of a pirate ship. His name was Calico Jack Rackham. Say this with me. Calico Jack Rackham. That's right. Scurvy dog. Ooh, he was a bit of a scurvy dog. Now, when Bonny got married to him, she moved onto his ship. It was called the Vanity. It was a small, fast pirate sloop that could sail out, capture a ship, get the treasure, and then hide again between the islands of the Caribbean. When Anne moved onto the ship, that was very unusual. Most women did not go onto the ship with their husband. They would stay at home. Their husbands would leave, come back at the end of the journey. But Bonny went onto the ship, and they welcomed her because she could fight with a sword, she could fight with a gun, and she was fearless. So the pirates welcomed her into their crew. After she had been on board for a little while, she discovered there was another woman on board, but no one knew because she dressed exactly like a man. Her name was Mary Read. Now, when Mary Read was first born in England, her mother wanted a little boy. And when she was born a girl, she just pretended that her child was a boy. She dressed her as a boy. She sent her to school as a boy. And when she grew up, she got work as a man. She became a sailor on the merchant ships. And then one day, her ship was captured by pirates. And the pirates gave her a choice. They said she could either join them or what? Walk the plank. And so Mary Read became a pirate. And after a while, she got to like being a pirate. And that's how she came to be on the Vanity with Calico Jack Rackham. When the two women realized they were both women on board the ship, they became fast friends. But the pirates had another problem. There were so many pirates during the day, during that time, that the governors of the colonies sent ships called man-o'-wars after them to try to capture them. The man-o'-wars had lots of cannons. And so the pirates had to keep a lookout at all time. Here, help me with this. It was like this. Keeping a lookout, watching to make sure no one was coming after them. Here, Redhead, hello. Could you keep a lookout for us there? Could you keep, there you go, that's good. So the women were up on deck one day, watching out, making sure no one was coming, when the men were down below having a party. They were carrying on, drinking, and the two women were watching. Bonny looked out. She said, a ship, it was coming towards them. She called down to the men. She said, come up, and lend a hand. But Calico Jack and his crew, they said, they came not to her command. Mary Read looked out. She said, man-o'-war. She could see the cannons. She called down, come up, or else we will be taken. But Calico Jack and his crew, their duties had forsaken. And then this great big ship came sailing up. It threw hooks over onto the Vanity, and all these people came aboard to try to capture the pirates. But Bonny and Mary Read were not afraid. Help me with this, help me. They stood shoulder to shoulder, and they raised their swords, and they started to fight to defend their ship. But before long, when the men didn't come up to help, it was too much, and the two women were overcome. Redhead is playing dead. She's very good at playing dead. What to say? You can say, hello, Redhead.
Hello.
Redhead, they didn't die. They didn't die. So you can come back up. Okay, there you go. There you go. Let's give her a little applause for her dramatic scene there. Thank you. So the two women were captured along with all the other pirates, and they were put in jail on Jamaica Island. And they had to wait for their trial. On the day of their trial, they took Anne Bonny and Mary Read from their prison cell, and they marched them along the walk to the courtroom. And they passed by Calico Jack's prison cell. And Anne Bonny looked through the bars at her husband. She said, "If you had fought like a man, my Jack, you need not die like a dog." She was furious with him because he never came up to fight to save the ship. The two women went into the courtroom and they pleaded for their lives. They said they were going to have babies. The judge said, "Oh, you may be a pirate's wife or by a man beguiled, but I would never hang a maid and kill the sinless child." So Calico Jack and all the men in the crew were found guilty by the judge. But Anne Bonny and Mary Read were by the judge set free. Now we don't know what happened after they were freed, but people say they moved to Louisiana, they raised their children and their grandchildren, and they were friends to the end of their days. And that's the story of Anne Bonny and Mary Read. Let's give Redhead a little more applause here. Thank you.